All right, so we are going to move to the next part of the design in Figma before we move to code. Now, this we've done the onboarding screen. Now we want to go into designing the dashboard layout. As I mentioned in the while we were thinking about the information architecture and also the low fidelity design that I shared, sketch that I shared, I said it's going to be a 2-column dashboard with the left side being the sidebar panel and the right side being the main content area. So now let's get into Figma and then we start, churning this out. As you know, when we review the information architecture, I knew clearly that there's going to be a whole lot of um, pages to actually think about, but for the sake of time, I would only be working on the home dashboard. And then you will see how my flow and how, I'm thinking about this. And then you definitely can pick one or two probably new ways of, building your stuff out in Figma. You can learn one or two things from this. So now I'll be using the desktop layout. So just type F on your keyboard and then you pick desktop. So I'll call this home. Now this is not going to be auto layout. As I always say, the main frame is always a container and it's going to have two sides to it. Now the first side is going to be the side panel. This being the you can have the being where it's going to have all the main menu breakdown for it, and then the left side is going to be the content area as I mentioned earlier on. Cool. So let's draw. Frame. I'm going to call this side panel. And then what I typically do, because I know this is going to be, and then this is just going to be the main area. I'll call this the main content area. Main content area is still going to be auto layout, but for now I'm just going to keep this this way. Zero. Of course, this is going to still, as I mentioned, it's going to be auto layout, so I don't need to really bother about this. Oh no. So again, for this, let me just make this. Now the beauty of this is the beauty of using your grid layout. I always don't want to use grid, but sometimes it's good because it helps you, making sure everything is the way it's supposed to be, and then just edit your grid columns here to 12, and yep, and then I can keep this here. Keep this, so yep, we're good, and I can actually switch this off. I really don't want this. Let's give this a temporary fill color, so I can see. But first I would focus on the side panel here first a bit. I think I'm okay to actually convert this side panel here into auto layouts straight away. Let's see. I will just make this Shift A auto layout. Should I call this side panel? Call it nav. I'll call it nav panel. Side panel, nav panel is the same thing. And then here will be 24 by 24. Okay, cool. Now, the first thing you want to have here is, of course, the logo. So let me go bring the logo from here, and then I'll come here, paste. I can paste the logo happily. Panel. So it's picking this because, of course, it's going to be Hoganate 260. Now the nav panel should actually be, the width should be fixed. We call it 260. And then for the main container, the width should be 1180, so that we don't have to 1180. So every other thing inside would be set to auto layout. So there's no need for us to. And again, if I make this auto layouts, this is 1.4, and then everything, you know, picks what they have to. Yep, we're good. Cool. So there's so let's focus on, I'm actually going to give the main one. This background here should pick neutral 50. So we're using this style. Cool. And this is going to actually be white. Cool. So logo done, logo set up. Now we then need to start thinking about every content that we have inside. So mainly, all the side menu, the main menu, breakdown of all the features, applications, recruitment, and everything will definitely go inside here. So I'll be calling this the navbar content area. So this can be, so navbar here. We have this. It should actually, okay, and then the height should fill the container here. So instead of logo container, we can call this, rename this to be the header content. One thing I think should be here, we could have the collapse icon. So when you tap on the collapse icon, it collapses the side panel. So I'm going to bring the collapse icon here, and then let's see. Okay, so we have this. Nope. Okay, because the logo and the logo icon is not grouped yet, so you can call this brand logo. This is nav collapse icon, and then I can double click on the alignment to just give it space. Good. And then the next area here would be the navbar main menu. So the nav type, so this would be main menu. Of course, the main menu would just be body, medium, regular. Let's see, and this would be, of course, it will be inside the zone auto layouts. That will be, let's say, auto layouts. Now this will be here. So put the main menu inside its own auto layout. We call this the nav bar main menu. Nav bar main menu, of course, will be fill. Now, so this is actually a very good technique that for me I've been using. Basically, now that I have my navbar main menu auto layout, I'm not putting padding left or right or padding top, bottom. That is the main container wrapper. Now, every item inside will be what I will then be using my padding I'll be padding up, because this is also how the AI coding, this is how the AI would also kind of interpret my auto layout and then code it exactly the same way. So this is going to be the navbar main menu is going to be the wrapper. Everything that you have, every items that you have inside will have its own padding and button left and top, left, right, and top. So this is will be Shift A, and I'll be calling this nav. I'll be calling this menu header. So here, so menu header will then be the one that would have its own sidebar. Sorry, its own padding, because the padding would then, if we want to, apply hover effect and the rest. So here I would give this, sorry, this would be 12 by 4. Okay, and then so we have this here, medium, and then neutral. I'm not using black. I'm using neutral 300. Yep, neutral 300 is good for us. So we have this as a navbar main menu. We have the menu header, and then the next thing we then need to now have is to have the overview items. So each of these items here, so would also have would have an icon. So if I come, all I need to do now is to duplicate. Nope, I'm here. So the direction should be downwards, and then duplicate this. Direction should be downwards. The spacing between them should be 0, because I'm using padding. I'm using padding to separate each of the items. So this is this menu header. This is going to be overview items. And then here would have home. And what this means is basically I will be, of course, when it's active, it's bold. And then here would be, I'll be using the body text, medium bold, because it's going to be active. And then the color is going to be primary 500. Cool. I need an icon here. I'm going to be using this temporarily as the icon that I want here, and I want the color to also be primary 500. Now for this overview icon, the overview icon definitely should be, let's look for an icon that can represent home. Here, let's see, home. Okay, let's use this, and the color should be primary 500. I have to disable the layout grid on each of the icons. Cool. So this is the active state menu, and then I would have, of course, because this is the active state, each of them would have its own, I want stroke and I want border radius to show the active state of this. So here, I want border radius of 8, and I want the stroke to come in here. But of course, the stroke will not be going, we'll be going for a neutral 100. 100 is a bit dark. I'll probably keep it at 50. Yep, and even this will be medium, and I will be calling this. So we have the overview item. We have, then this will be overview icon, and then this will be overview title. overview item, overview title. So we have this, and then we will have the background. Let's see. Should definitely be active because this is the active state, and then we'll have the background color so that I can depict. Cool. So this is the active state. And when it's not in that state, of course, I'm going to duplicate this and switch off the strokes. Stroke is 0, background is not that, and this will be, let's say, search, and it's not going to be, of course, it's not going to be blue, it's going to be something else. This other color here, it's going to be our default neutral. Same as this, neutral 300. And of course, the icon also will be picking the same color as neutral 300. But of course, this is going to be search. Let's see. This should be 16 by 16. I kind of don't like these icons because it seems to be too thick. But I know I have, let me go, I actually have icons here. Let's see. Okay, I know what to do. If I come back here, paste from this file, created in this file container, I think I should have used this instead of this. Let's see. Yep, this looks much better. Looks much better. So we have search. Under search, we have, this is going to be notifications. Of course, this is going to be a bell. And then create job. Now, the good thing about this is I've already seen, you know, like similarities in, or kind of myself repeating the use of some of these components. And automatically what that kind of, you know, gives me the vibe that, hey, there are actually I'm seeing opportunities of creating component out of I think I'll make this 8. And that's the beauty of, if I'd created this as a component of its own, I probably would have just gone to edit 1 and then need to apply. Let's see. So create job, and then I will let's see. Use neutral 300. Create job. So we've kind of sorted out because we're on the home page, of course. So this is going to, you know, take care of this. Now we need to start looking at each of the sections. So again, this is one section. I've created this here. This is now my main menu, and then the other side I would have is basically, you know, like recruitment, team management. All I need to do, if I duplicate this, I can call this recruitments. In this case, of course, this will not be active. I can delete that. And I want possible kind of an accordion. Let's see. I want this to have something like this, an accordion, a chevron that would make it collapsible, you know, up and down. So yep, so this is here. I think there's something missing here. This is not 4, this is 8. So this should also be 8. So you can see, this is how you start knowing repeated. So if I could create this now as a component. And then let me actually show you this. So if I create this, it already has all the properties. I can turn this into a component by just right clicking on it and say create component. And then I can create component properties. Component properties will then be able to switch on and off this. So I can say add property to it. Property being Boolean. I'll call this toggle chevron. Toggle chevron is true. Come here, apply the property to this chevron itself. Because it's a visibility property, I can visibility property, I can click on this and then click on this icon here, select the property that I'm going to add to it, and it's turned on by default. So what that means is this: when I create an instance, I can just come here, paste it here. So instead of just saying here, I could just say, okay, I don't want it to have, switch it off here and then type in main menu. So I don't need to, this becomes really much more functional. Paste here, and whenever I make a change to the properties here, or whenever I do whatever I do here, it applies to everywhere I'm using, and anywhere I'll be using this particular component. So what this means again now is, because I want this text to be a property so that I can, you know, just override it, I click on the component, add another property. This time around, I'll add a text property to it. I'll call it menu title, and the default value, let's say the default value would be menu text. Text. Create property. Don't forget to always add the property to the component itself. So for you to add that to this, you just need to come here. You see text recruitment, you click on this icon here, and then you select this. You say to change it to menu text. Okay, so now I want to make sure that this is supposed to be all caps, all case. So what that means basically is I should come here and then change this to menu text. And then when I come here, I can easily just change this here to recruitment. And when I'm going to eventually use this component somewhere else, it's going to be easier for me, and I can reuse anywhere I want to reuse it. So under recruitment, I want to have job. Again, I would love to have turned this. So this is menu header. I can turn this into menu overview items and turn it into components. And for each of those components, I would have properties, and also for the icon, I'll have its own property, and I can do an instance swap of those icons. Now, this is basically me, teaching you how to use Figma. But the goal of this workshop is basically to help you go from this interface into a more functional product, not Figma, how to use Figma. There is a completely different course for that, and you can always reply my email if you're interested in learning how to do some of these things. So now for recruitment, we have jobs, candidates, events, duplicate the to-dos, let's see, career pages. Okay. And then because you're logged in, you're signed in as John, you would also have a section to show the job posting that you've done. Let's say your the job postings that you've done. I need to change these icons here. Let's see. For events, I think this should be a calendar. Let's use a calendar for this. Yep. Use a calendar. For to do, let's use a checklist. For careers, let's see. Let's use a world map for this. Okay, so for jobs that you've posted, well, let's say you posted a UX designer job, you posted a front-end dev, a developer. Now in this case, you see, I don't need these icons here, and that's something I think, or probably I could say maybe we use a general icon for this. So let me go back here and search for bag, like a briefcase. Let's see. Yep, so this works. I can come here and paste to replace, paste to replace, paste to replace, paste to replace. So front end, project manager. These are the jobs this recruiter is hiring for. Project managers, software engineers, excuse me, UX researchers. Okay. Cool. I think we're making a good we're making progress. Okay, so now let's say this should actually be 24. Awesome. Let's see. Now for the main content area, which is also going to be auto layout, main content area would have the header, which is going to be fixed. The header is going to be fixed, and then let's see, where are we? Let's see. good. So we're good. Let's see. Now the main area would have its own header, which will definitely be, of course, we'll be following really strict. Let's see. So this is going to be just let's see, where are you? Copy, paste. So this is going to be full screen, and then 0, 0. I'm going to call this header, which is also going to be full screen of its own, and of course this text will go in here to show the page that you are currently on, and it's going to be auto layout. So not that, this will be 32, and home. Let's see, this home here would definitely be an H1, if not, I mean, for the sake of SEO. And I want to have your profile picture here. Let's draw this, and then space things out. Oh no, this should be like this. Space things out, give the border, this border radius of 100, and yeah, we'll call this the profile picture of the recruiter that is using this product. And then we start, so we sorted out the header. We then need to sort out the main content area itself, which will be, let's see, definitely going to be like this. So I'm going to draw, come here, F. Of course, I'm expecting it to disrupt my flow. Bring this here, and then so here, this is going to be the main contents area, the main of the main, and then fill is going to be in auto layout, padding is going to be 32, and then the color is going to be something like that. Let's see. However, so good, we're good. Of course, this is going to be saying hello, Mr. John, and this will be H3. Hello, Mr. John. Hello, Mr. John. It's Friday, 07/02/2025. Just to welcome you in, I'm going to wrap this in auto layout, and I'll call this main content heading. The auto layout is going to be vertical with the spacing of 8. The color here, actually this, I'm not really thinking this should be this. Probably we should step it down a bit. Maybe we should step it down a bit and it should be this. Yeah. And then hello Mr. John. The spacing in between here, let's see, will be 32, so that all the items there, and then I will be able to have 32, and the next, oh, like always, I always forget this. I need to make the neutral 300. It's a bit too light for me. I think I'll make this neutral 500. And then the next, I'm going to draw yep, so this is going to let's call this salutation. I'll call this key metrics. Key metrics. So key metrics will be housing few. So under key metrics, this is where you want to have you know, active jobs, candidates profile, all the information about all the information we discussed during the information architecture phase. So all this data, all this information, this is where we'll be displaying them. Some information should be seen by default, meaning customers don't have to perform any action to get, you know, to get access to those information. Like how many active jobs do we have? How many candidates, you know, has applied to XYZ? I should be able to see some of those information straight away right on landing in the dashboard without having to click everywhere. But when I need to then drill down, I can easily navigate to the best area of the dashboard to drill down to. So this is going to be the key metric area, which I'm also going to make auto layout. And then as you can see, as I'm designing, I'm making everything auto layout, giving it the right names and all that to make sure it looks good in code eventually. So now, first is a start row. I need to then start building out the start row. If you remember, when I shared the information architecture itself, I want to be able to create something like this. So key metrics, under key metrics, I have all the stats, top level stats container. Cool. And then, so let's do this way. I'm going to start with a text, and then so just watch, see the way I'm going to start converting. I'll convert this to something really nice and interesting. So this is going to be body medium, regular, active. So this is going to be active jobs. Active jobs, I need an icon. Okay, I'm going to change the color of this. I need an icon here. So this is going to come over here. Active jobs, and then lastly, I need how many active jobs? Let's say 32. So now this is where I will be, remember it's a dashboard. This is where I will then be giving each of them its own attributes, 34. So let's click on this and this, Shift A, and then Shift A again. Cool. And all I just need to do now is to just then give them their own padding. Padding top, padding bottom, padding left and right. So I have the active jobs here. So this is going to be 300 gray. Let's see. So I'll be picking this. Okay, so 300 gray here would be fill with whites. So filled with white. Outline border will be 8 stroke. Stroke will be on neutral 50. Neutral 50 and yep. Color will be white. Cool. So we have this. All I need to do now is to change this color here to the primary blue. What is this? Not picking up. Okay, so active jobs. So now this is because I want this to fill out. I can then come here and say fill container. I'm going to call this start items and then call this start metric, and then I'll call this start metric item. Cool. Now I have this. I just need to duplicate 3, 4, and that fills out this entire screen. Now because this, I don't want the key stats to key metrics to have its own padding, because anytime I'm going to use auto layout inside and that auto layout, I want to make sure that the main auto layout itself, the wrapper, which is going to be the wrapper, is secured enough to accommodate, you know, different spacing metrics and the rest. So this should be 32. So now for active jobs, I want candidates, I want events, and I want a to-do list. Cool. So for candidate, I think I already, oh no, I still need to change all the icons here. Okay, let's see. What is the name of this icon? I'll call this users. So when I come to candidates, instead of calendar, I'm going to use, come here and search for users. And then for events, okay, events is using calendar. To do is using a checklist. Let's see. Okay, need to come back here and then change the black color to this. Cool. So I think we have a block, a key metrics block here. Let's see if we can reuse that same block to create job, to create a job container block. So if I duplicate this, let's see if I duplicate this and I call it create job component. Okay, so now the difference between this and this is that I want this to have its own padding. So I want this to be 24 by 24, and I want it to be white. And I want it to have the same properties as this. Copy properties, paste properties. Cool. And then, so what's basically, I'll come okay and create jobs, create a new job. Okay, so I need to fill this here, and then this should be in auto layout so that the direction of this can come down. And then, so from here, I probably would be able to, under create job, I should be able to figure out certain things, which is like your basic information, your files. Okay, so I need to keep this height. Cool, so far so good. You can see this is going to take a really long time because we're getting each of these items out and I'm designing each of the components as it is. But we are almost done. So once I'm done with this, I will just go into building it and showing you all the workflows that goes around. It takes a lot of practice, but you need to just keep practicing and keep practicing before you get used to it. So yeah, once we're done with this, I think I have one more blog to create, which is like the blog and the educational side of things. Because when you log into your dashboard, if you've not used it before, you want some form of education. So this is going to be, it's going to leverage. I'm going to leverage the bottom area for that education piece of work. So now, what are some of the things that we typically? What are some of the, based on the type of jobs that this particular recruiter creates frequently, I'll be using machine learning to understand his or her behavior in the product, and then I'll be recommending some quick action task to perform. So create job is one of them, and one of the jobs that I think might be interesting to get this recruiter to create could be HR manager, UX designers, software engineers, program managers, so duplicate this. Let's see. Cool. So of course the design here would definitely be different. So I'm looking at a situation where I kind of want to introduce some images here. So instead of having numbers here, I wouldn't be having that. I probably would just have this as quick actions. So I want to introduce some form of images here to support the content. What do you think? Yep, I think so. That would be good. Of course, let's say this is going to be 8. Increase the height. We'll change this icon here because it's about job. We'll change this icon here to the briefcase. I can also search for the icon here. So 0, change the color to primary 500, HR manager, and then I can use on splash to put in an image here. Let's say HR, let's set for HR. Okay, let's use this HR manager, and automatically I'm going to delete all this, and let's see, start metrics, items, duplicates, 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 duplicates. So UX designer, UX designers, and software engineers, UX designers, software engineers, program managers, marketing execs, and I can come here. So I have this as HR manager. Let's look for an image that will represent UX designers in a splash. Let's see. Let's use this. Select this, software engineers. Let's use this temporarily. Program managers. Let's look for project managers instead. Cool. I have you. Marketing. Marketing is someone that knows data really well. And then the last block, but not the least, will then be we've made a good progress. Will then be the block I call the guides or the blogs. So we'll call this training modules. Sorry, training modules for recruiters. So this is going to be a 3-block column. Let's see. This should be fill. fill. Let's see. I want this. As a matter of fact, I can paste to replace, which is going to be the title, and I need a sub description. Here is going to be body medium, body small, regular. The color is going to be, of course, neutral, 300. So, how to spot top talents. So this could be training about how to spot top talent in a busy world. Here could be handbook. Here could be onboarding senior executives. So I'm going to copy this, paste, and then here would be company policy. Here will be company policy documents. Here will be company policy documents, training modules. Okay, so we'll just use this text here temporarily. Let me increase the height of this to 160. Again, if this was already in components, I just need to change it once. I need to apply to your entire design. And if at any point in time you find this helpful and you want to actually join my Figma one-on-one training or the entire Figma course, just reply to my email or drop a comment here and I will reach out to you. So yep, we're done somehow, sort of, but yeah, looks good, looks clean, looks simple. So this is the dashboard, and what this means basically is once you tap on HR, it opens a modal, you fill out all that. Those other interfaces, I will be releasing a video specifically focusing on each of those areas and how I'll be turning this entire piece of dashboard that we've started here into a much more robust application, and we built with AI. So this is going to, for now, we'll pause here and then I will go into the AI coding part.